What do Monty Hall, the robot from Lost in Space, and Marianne from Gilligan's Island all have in common? Well, all three come out of the vault next on Brio TV, the podcast. Hi, and welcome to Brio TV, the podcast. I'm your host, Bill Brio. Now, from time to time, I dip into my own personal vault, more of a storage bin, to be honest, and bring out interviews I conducted years before podcasting was a thing. Many were recorded on old wonky cassette tapes before being transferred to digital, so please forgive the quality of some of these recordings. This episode featured 3 conversations with TV personalities who all broke big in the 1960s when their series were watched by millions across North America. Now first, let's set sail for an island cruise with Marianne, better known in real life as Dawn Wells, one of the 7 original castaways on Gilligan's Island. Wells was born in Reno, Nevada in 1938 and was crowned Miss Nevada in 1959. Going on to compete in the Miss America pageant that year. She appeared on many TV shows, westerns, and comedies before landing the role of Marianne on Gilligan's Island, which ran from 1964 to 67. She was also in several of the spin-offs, including When They All Met the Harlem Globetrotters. I first encountered Wells at a Hollywood autograph show in 1997, where she was signing 8x10s next to castmate Russell Johnson, who played the professor. I remember the two of them were actually autographing coconuts at that show. This conversation, done over the phone, was recorded a few months later when the actress was promoting a fishing show called Dawn Wells' Real Adventures, which she made with professional fly fishing specialist Kathy Ruddick. Wells passed away in 2020, a victim of the COVID pandemic. Here she is in 1998.
Are people still recognizing you from Gilligan's Island, or are they basically you're Dawn?
Oh, no.
Fisher?
Well, it's Fisherwoman, but there's such a Gilligan's Island recognition around the world. I mean, there's such a Australia. I just can't go anywhere.
Really?
Oh, no. I mean, as a matter of fact, I do a show in Australia.
Oh, great.
Australia is very interested in the show. They have a very big fishing population, and I'm going to go over a guest fish by the name of Rick Hunt. He's a big fisherman over there. He's been doing it for 9 years, so I'm going to be his female counterpart in a couple of episodes.
Great.
Yes, it's a show that we're in 30 languages still.
Gilligan's Island.
Yes.
Wow.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Do you continue to receive residuals, or is it?
No.
No.
We got paid for the first 5 runs of each episode, and that lasted about 2 years.
Yikes.
Mr. Turner, and I guess that's Warner's and everybody now owns this, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I guess that was the way it was in the 60s for most shows.
Yeah, we were just the beginning of that new contract. You can't complain about it. Nowadays, they negotiate for anything electronic to be invented.
Right. Yeah.
So we didn't know different then.
Well, that's great. I wanted to ask just to follow up, too, on that, where we spoke briefly at the Hollywood Collector Show.
Yeah.
And that was fascinating. And I noticed Howard just passed away, who was Mr. Kimball, I guess. He was there.
I didn't see him.
Yeah, but anyway, it was quite a fascinating experience to meet all of you there. Do you attend many shows like that?
No, normally you'll get hired once in a while to go to one, and they pay you to come and do it. And I've done Black, Bob, and Adam West, and a few other people. Once in a while, if I'm in town, I'll do Rays, because it's kind of an experience there. I get a kick out of meeting some of the cowboys, all that stuff that you've heard about for years myself. I just did it Saturday for a few hours, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, and the people are so sincere. I mean, the people who come by are really fans. It's a hard thing to express to the average person if they haven't seen it. Really fun and love the show. Of course, every remark Gilligan got is full of love, and because you've raised 3 generations of kids, so it's always positive, you know.
That's amazing. And how is a Gilligan autograph worth more than an I Dream of Jeannie, or you know what I mean?
I don't know. I think all of those are. I think a lot of Gilligan's paraphernalia is but there was none of that then. I mean, I just wonder what it would have been like to have a Marianne and ginger poster stuff.
Oh, sure.
And a Gilligan poster. I mean, and then the Howl stuff. I mean, it really all would have worked.
So do people bring art back to you to something you've never even seen before? Or
I'm kind of now familiar with most of the stuff, but sometimes they're in just pristine condition. Some of them are not even unwrapped yet.
Will these be like lunch pails or what?
Well, there were some lunch pails. There's a couple of Gilligan's Island board games that are very valuable, and there were some Gilligan's Island cards and 2 little sets of Gilligan's Island dolls.
No kidding.
Yeah, and there was a Gilligan's Island bathtub with Gilligan and myself. I have a girl.
Man, I would have given in it for that.
Yeah.
That's great.
And the books, there's some kind of school-looking books on Gilligan's.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
When I was there, I walked over to the F Troop guys were there, and somebody came along with like 50 pictures and plunked them down in front of Ken Berry and said, please sign all of these. Does this kind of thing happen?
Well, those are dealers.
Yeah.
And they pay you to sign them, and then they up the price and sell them. But we're not too keen on that. I mean, we do it and if somebody's really at Gilligan's Island, if he carries all the paraphernalia that people are looking for and everything, he's making a living at that. He's done a lot of research to do it.
Right.
So as long as we get a share of the action, and nobody sells them for $45, and it is extortionate.
Yes.
There are a few kind of big posters out. There's one that we did in Atlanta, and it's quite valuable now. We did a personal appearance, Tina and I and Bob and Russell, and she doesn't usually come along. It was a chalk sketch of the 4 of us on a lifting. It was beautiful.
Wow.
I didn't sell them all, and I know they're quite valuable. So once in a while, somebody will come up with something pretty interesting, and you support that, I think.
That's great.
I mean, I do.
Yeah.
And Bob and Russ do. I don't know about Tina.
That's great. Yeah, I noticed that Russell had a few coconuts even.
Oh, yes, I thought that was cute, wasn't it?
That was funny.
Yeah.
And is there any talk still of a big screen Gilligan's Island movie?
There is, but I don't know when they're doing it. But I'm going to go into production soon on a Gilligan's Island retrospective. I've been talking about it for a couple of years, and we were doing it a couple of years ago with Turner, and then it all sold. So now we're back in negotiations, and I've got some home movies. There's no sound, but I took a lot of stuff on the set, which is really fun. And there's some wonderful stories that we can all share while the 4 of us are still alive, And Sherwood Schwartz, of course, and his sons that were just little kids, and his daughter that was just a little girl, and they're all, one's composing music and one's a producer. There's so much influence. Advertising, it's all over the world. I mean, the Chicago Lottery. I mean, you can't go anywhere that there isn't a Gilligan's Island reference. And I think it will be for all time. It's like that funny joke you keep remembering from all time, and it is. It's part of American heritage here. I don't know how Canadians feel about
absolutely. No, it was. I certainly never missed an episode, and a lot of. It was a huge hit here, just as big as there, and people were puzzled when it was pulled, I guess. And
there's very few shows. Oh, it was a total political reason we went off the air, too. There are very few shows who sustain generation to generation. And I think because Gilligan's are timeless, and because it's that kind of slapstick kind of humor that isn't dated. You don't have to know who Dan Quayle is to understand it. I think it's international. You had a real Laurel and Hardy quality to it, didn't it? And there's become such a Marianne and Ginger issue, Yes, that's I mean, and that wasn't then. It's now, and I think it's a sign of the times. I mean, people really trust me, and I've been very conscious of protecting that image, because there are very few role models out there. I know this sounds kind of syrupy, but you look at. I'm on the board of Stevens College, which I'm sometimes about being called a finishing school. It was a wonderful education, but you were taught to be ladies, and people used to laugh at us. You learned how to pour tea and all of that. 2 years ago, our students came to us and asked for a manners course. They didn't know what forks and knives to use, and it's a $20,000 a year tuition. So it tells you the families aren't eating together. That whole is gone, and yet it's so important to have it. So I'm very conscious of what Marianne's influence is. I talked with a bunch of kids who are between 8 and 10, learning grooming and that kind of stuff. And the counselors let me leave. I think I'm not sure who did it. And the kids started asking me questions about drugs and premarital sex. My goodness. And all of a sudden I went, wait a minute. There comes a time, I don't know if boys do this, but there comes a time when young women don't listen to their mothers. You don't know what you're talking about, but you're listening to somebody. Right. And if they're asking you, they're interested in your answer. So I was very aware of what I said kind of makes a difference. Yeah. So I'm very cautious of that. Do you ever get tired of doing things? I always like Marianne better. No, you never get tired of something. And the polls, I keep winning the polls. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and I really don't take it to heart. I don't think it's Dawn Wells they're talking about. I think the man so well that they loved her. I mean, her character is so special, I think.
Yeah. And one other thing, too, we're working on a story here on studios, the TV factories where they cranked out all these great shows. And the one in particular is the CBS Studio City one where Gilligan's Island was shot.
Oh, you bet. At its heyday.
And well, tell me a bit about that. What was it like? What other shows were going on that lot?
Gunsmoke was across the street, right across the street. Big Valley.
That's why you're such a Western fan now. When you meet these guys, it's a real kick.
It is a real kick. I'm trying to think because I did the show. It's About Time.
Oh, right, of course.
Was done there, and Bailey's of Balboa was done there.
Wow.
I'm not so sure My Three Sons. Maybe My Three Sons was all Universal. It might have all been Universal. I can't remember. I can't remember some of the other ones. I know our set, the Lagoon, was just cemented over. It's now a parking lot,
right.
And our soundstage is Roseanne.
Well, that's what I discovered that, and I guess when they invited you back to do that episode a couple of years ago, it must have been ironic to be on that same set doing those characters on the Roseanne show.
Yeah, and you know what also is also funny? I'm doing a little thing for Australia, not a little thing, but they have a thing called Midday. It's like our Today show,
right?
And I see all the current movies. And then I interview all the stars, and we satellite it to Australia. I just covered the Academy Awards, which was such a thrill. I stood right next to Joan Rivers and interviewed everybody.
Oh, great.
But it's amazing to me the reaction of the stars.
Yeah.
Because they all grew up with me. I mean, I don't think of that. Eddie Murphy got on the chair and sang the whole song. Robin Williams did the whole interview as Lovey and Thurston. Tom Hanks kept waving the cookbook saying, I can't believe I'm sitting here with Mary Ann. Renee Russo said, I almost quit school because of you. I mean, it just fascinates me. Even Demi Moore said, I'm doing this, whatever picture she was doing with a frogman or something. She said, they carry their boats every morning and they sing the theme song.
Oh, that's great.
I mean, it's so funny.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So that there actually was a bit of a lagoon there on...
Oh, yes, CBS, because we couldn't film with the fog. There was so much fog in Malibu. We shot a couple episodes at Zuma Beach, but we could only shoot 2 or 3 hours a day. So
right.
CBS built this huge lagoon with a waterfall, and boats came in and out, and it was quite the deal.
And that's where the ship was shipwrecked, right? Beached up on that area?
No, it was beached up on the beach.
Oh, in Malibu.
Right at Malibu, yeah.
I see.
But anything where you see a swimming or a little boat going off or on the raft or anything like that.
Great.
And they duplicated all the palm trees and matched the beach, and then on Thursdays and Fridays, Gunsmoke came in. It took all that stuff out, but it sagebrush and tumbleweeds. It's always fascinated me. We know we could change furniture, but to change the landscape just blows my mind.
We'll be back with our next guest from Lost in Space in just a moment.
The mate was a mighty sailing man,
the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour.
Well, time once again to check in on Hollywood Suite with our pal, Emily Gagne. Emily, what's new?
Well, Bill, are you ready to face the music?
Yes, I am, Emily. What do you got?
Well, we've got September soundtracks, so iconic films with great soundtracks from throughout film history. You know, stuff like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, The Judy Garland A Star Is Born, or if you're into more modern stuff, Sign of the Times from Prince. We even have Notorious, the film about the Notorious B.I.G.
Wow, that's pretty cool. What else you got?
We also have, and I'm very excited to share this, an Oasis documentary from 2005. If you have been following the Oasis news cycle, they're touring again. It's really hard to get tickets, so why not just watch their show from the comfort of your own couch?
Well, there you have it. Consider Hollywood Suite an oasis of great music. All this month, right, Emily?
Right, Bill.
Here on the Mountain of Entertainment, we take crime off the streets and bring it right into your living room. We're throwing the book at boredom with every episode of Matlock, Watson, Elsbeth, and the biggest crime lineup you've ever seen. You have the right to remain entertained.
Stream Paramount Plus from $6.99 a month.
You gonna need backup here?
Paramount Plus.
My next guest is someone you won't recognize, even though millions of us watched his show back in the 1960s. His name is Bob May, and he was inside the robot suit for 3 seasons on the Irwin Allen series Lost in Space. Born in 1939 in New York, May worked as a stuntman and as an actor on everything from Jerry Lewis's The Nutty Professor to McHale's Navy and even The Red Skelton Show. Shorter than average, he won the robot part because he could fit inside the suit. Locked inside for long stretches, he used to smoke, and he had his own ashtray right inside the robot suit. May passed away in 2009 at the age of 69. I spoke with him in 1997 at the Hollywood Collector Show, held on that occasion at the Beverly Garland Holiday Inn in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. It was crowded at those autograph shows, so danger, danger, the sound quality is not great. Here he is, Bob May.
Every week we look at classic shows, and of course Lost in Space. I looked something up the other day, and there was a date for when the spaceship took off.
October 16th, 1997.
It's this fall. That's when the ship left. That's amazing. It never come back.
I hope to God it never does, because people want to see us all the time, and we have entertained 3 generations working on our 4th.
Wow.
So I'm pretty thrilled. Whereabouts in Canada?
Toronto.
Toronto. I did the Canadian National Exhibition there several years when Elwood Hughes was in charge of it. Elwood Hughes was in charge of the CNE, and I was there with my family because my grandfather was Chick Johnson of Olson & Johnson, Elsa Poppin.
Yeah, your grandfather.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I have fond memories of Toronto.
That's great.
And Windsor and Montreal and Quebec. A lot of fond memories.
Well, this is great.
My grandfather went hunting in British Columbia, and I never forgave him for not taking me.
And you knew the date right off the top of your head. Is it something?
Most certainly.
Were you always aware that?
Yeah, we all were. We all.
Is there any reunion planned for that date or something?
I hope so. I've heard rumors that there might be.
Oh, great.
And you know, the one thing I must say, so that your people in Canada will know this, because I'm very proud of it, and everybody in the cast is. 31 years, and we're all still very dear friends.
Well, that's great.
And we talk with each other constantly. The only one we're missing is Guy Williams, who was the class act of our show.
Wow.
He was
saying a lot.
Well, he was a classy guy.
Yeah.
And June Lockhart, I can't say enough nice things about her. Bill Mooney and I are very dearest of friends. And what can you say about Jonathan Harris, Dr. Smith?
I don't know. What can you say about that?
Not much if you're the robot. And he wants to make you into a golf cart.
Well, what was this like? I mean, this is amazing.
The robot was a quite interesting part because you had to be acting and bringing that across without your face being seen.
Yeah.
And also, I can say that being inside the robot, I'm the only actor that had its own jacuzzi.
You're in there, right?
Yeah, it was very hot.
Was there just the one costume for the robot?
No, we had a flying costume which we used for flying scenes with it. And then we had the regular one.
And was there any mechanical, was there a machine rolling this around? Or
No.
feet, or how did...
They would pull me with cables with the full outfit, and at times I would carry a portion of the robot which weighed 250 pounds.
Wow.
And it was quite heavy. And then you're trying to act along with it.
And you had like lights blinking and all kinds of stuff. I mean, did you ever get electrocuted or a shock?
I got shocked the first season. I was walking along, and at that time they had high-tension cables, which later on they went into batteries. But the high-tension cables were coming up my back, and Mr. Allen was on a big Chapman crane, and he's backing up, and I'm supposed to be walking towards the Chapman crane, right? All of a sudden, I started running. And he says, cut, cut, cut. He says, why are you running, Bob? I said, I got hit by 250 volts.
Oh, my God.
So it was quite interesting.
Start going warning.
Oh, I started yelling danger like you wouldn't believe. And to hell with saying danger Will Robinson, I was saying danger Bob May. But no, we had a lot of fun doing it. The scenes with Jonathan Harris were classic scenes.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
The scenes with Bill Mumy, I wouldn't trade for anything.
Yeah.
Let me explain my theory. The robot was the protector of the family. The robot with Bill Mumy was like a boy and his dog.
Oh yeah, classy.
Correct.
Sure.
And the robot with Dr. Smith was like Olsen and Johnson, Abbott and Costello, and Martin and Lewis all turned into one.
Yeah.
See? So it worked real well because we had the drama section, but we had the comedy overtones, and that went into your home. And when it goes, anything comes into your home, you become part of the home's family. You see what I'm saying? So the robot was everybody's Will Robinson's pal.
Oh, absolutely. I grew up watching this show. In fact, I never watched Star Trek. I never was interested in Star Trek. This was the show that I watched.
Well, that's very kind because Star Trek had a wonderful producer too, Gene Roddenberry. I did a series with Gary Lockwood, in fact, called The Lieutenant.
Oh, yeah.
And Gene Roddenberry was the producer. Gene Roddenberry called me, in fact, offered me Star Trek, but I had already been signed by Mr. Allen.
Wow.
Because we came on, yes, we came on the year before Star Trek.
Gotcha. And how did you come to get this role? Your previous experience as robots?
Sure. My wife would say yes, but no.
That could be a compliment.
Yeah, right. Well, became a robot, learned how to compute, and had 2 kids.
Yeah, there you are.
You know, no. I was out at 20th Century Fox interviewing for another picture, and I was called by the casting man and asked if I was signed already. I said no, and he asked me to go up to Irwin Allen's office. Went up there. Mr. Allen said, "You did Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea for me, didn't you?" And I said, "Yes, I did, sir." He says, "How would you like to? I got a new series. It's called Lost in Space. I got a part of the robot. Would you like to play it?" I said, "Sure." He says, "Well, I don't know what a robot can do." I said, "Neither do I right now." He said, "Would you really like to do it?" And I said, "Yes, I would." Went down. Robert Kinoshita, who designed Robbie the robot, also designed ours.
No kidding.
And I had to fit into the robot. So I fit into it, and he asked Bob Kinoshita, he says, how's he fit in it? Bob said, fine. And Irwin says, okay, Bob, you got the job.
Wow.
He says, now do something with our robot. Make something out of our robot. And that's quite an honor when a producer allows an actor to have that kind of freedom. And needless to say, I was fortunate enough to be number 1 with a great cast, number 2 have that freedom, and number 3 to accomplish what I did.
Did you come up with some of that, like a warning?
No, that was, well, the movements, the ideas, the concepts, the characterization, I developed. I developed the personality of the robot. And I took it from very mechanical up to a personality. I made the robot an actor.
Yeah.
That's what I made him.
Give a character.
Yeah.
Now,
exactly.
Apparently, from what I read, a kid's model kit from Aurora of this thing today is worth like $800, $900 or something.
And with the movie coming out, the original Robots toys, and original robot is going to go sky high.
Do you have one of these? Oh, good for you. You have one in the box? Even better. And they're making...
You notice I didn't say anything on tape.
No, you just nodded.
I kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
And now I have to build up the security since we said this.
But do you find yourself sort of these days rummaging around trying to pick up?
No, fans have been wonderful through the years, have sent me different things.
Oh, great.
And I regard that as more of a compliment, more of a nicety than going out to a store to buy it. Anybody can go out and put money out, but when a fan cares enough to send you something of that nature, that's a tribute you can't put a dollar count on.
Up next, Let's Make It Deal's Monty Hall. What's new on Super Channel? Well, for one thing, the all-Canadian streaming service has the award-winning new documentary Happy Clothes, a film about Patricia Field, designer to the stars. Her frocks have tarted up everything from Sex and the City to Emily in Paris. What else? Well, there's always plenty of choice on Super Channel, and don't just take my word for it. See and hear for yourself.
The one thing that you're going to have to remember is to protect your quarterback, me.
What do you think about being a soldier and a father?
I hope that being good at the one makes me better at the other.
There's a strict hierarchy in ancient Egypt, and the pharaoh is at the top.
And therefore they have divine authority.
They were totalitarian.
Can I help you?
Word on the street is you need a sous chef.
No offense, you don't look like a sous chef.
And what does a sous chef look like?
Well, for starters, they never have a manicure.
I'm building something.
The Lightwave Surf Company.
We'd be selling an idea of paradise.
Attention Marx Brother fans, here's a dream come true, a chance to see A Night at the Opera on a big screen in a packed theater. It's coming up on Sunday, September 21st. It's going to be the Westdale Theater in Hamilton. They're celebrating their 90th anniversary, and they're going to go back to 1935 and show a film they actually showed there, A Night at the Opera. See it now in a fully restored print with some shorts, a newsreel, a couple of cartoons, a live-action short with Laurel and Hardy. I'll be there. I'll be providing the shorts in 16 millimeter. See the Marx Brothers Sunday, September 21st, 7 p.m. You don't even have to say the Sacred Void. For more information, go to thewestdale.ca. Time now to look behind door number 3. I spoke with my next guest several times over the years, always about his famous creation, Let's Make a Deal. The popular daytime game show launched on NBC at the end of 1963. Hall hosted it for decades, even as it hopped over to ABC and eventually into syndication. The Winnipeg native, who was famous not just for the show, but also for being a tremendously philanthropic. He donated, I think, close to $1 billion to various charities over the years. He died in 2017 at the age of 96. I spoke with him 5 years earlier on the phone on the occasion of the 50th anniversary of Let's Make a Deal. So sometime early in 2012. So once again, pick me, Monty. Pick me.
Congratulations on such a amazing anniversary. 50 years. Let's make
50
a
years
deal.
of one show. That's not bad.
That's amazing. That's just tremendous. Have you already taped the show that's going to air Friday?
Yes, we taped the show. It'll be on Friday morning, yeah.
And was that a lot of fun?
Well, I've come back to the show every decade. Even if when I went off the air, I came back I started the show in the 60s. And so I finished my run in the 1990s. And ever since then, I make appearances on it from time to time. So it was easy for me to come on the show. But what was nice about it is that I had on the show with me a few of the original people who worked on my staff. You can imagine after 50 years, not too many of them are still alive.
That's true. Well, I'm 55, and so I was a youngster when the show was on the air, but I have quite vivid memories of it in the 60s. And that's, I guess, the wonderful thing about Let's Make a Deal. It always has appealed to young and old, hasn't it?
That's right. Well, we've had great demographics all through the time, and I meet people continuously through my life. Wherever I am in this city or other cities, people come up and say, I used to watch you when I was 6 years old, I used to watch you when I was at college, and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And of course, after 50 years, you've reached a lot of people.
No kidding. So, and Carol Merrill was one of the people that is back for the show.
She was the original model on the show, and she flew in from Hawaii to be on the show with me, and it was very nice to have her there 50 years later.
Was this show a tough sell back in 1963, or an easy one?
You bet it was. First of all, there were only 3 networks. There was no syndication, none of that. Just 3. You only had 3 customers.
Right.
And CBS was not going to do any game shows. That left you with 2 customers.
Wow.
And now we see these 2 customers. We've been working on it for the past couple of months. We've taken the show and played it in
what we did is we called certain organizations and said, when you have a meeting, we'll be your entertainment. When the business part of the meeting is over, let us play a half hour of a new show we've been working on. So we went to various meetings. We went to one meeting, was a knitting bee at 8 o'clock in the morning. We went out in the valley and did it for them. And we did it for organizations who were various people, the Fat Club, and everybody we could get our hands on. And we played it, and everywhere when we had no prizes to show, all we had was envelopes that said refrigerator, and we had a rubber chicken, which was the song. And we, no matter where we played it, that people went crazy over it.
Wow.
There was nothing to see except imagination and these envelopes. So we said to these two networks, you've got to give us a shot at it. Let's do a run-through. So we did one for ABC, and we showed it in an audience of about 300 people, and again, we had no prizes, just the envelopes. And when we finished, the crowd gave us a standing ovation, and I went back into the green room where my partner was with my agent and with the network person. I walked in, I saw long faces. I said, what's wrong? And he said, my partner said, he doesn't like the show. The network guy doesn't like the show.
What?
I said, look, they're still screaming out there. I said, look, we're in here, and they're still applauding out there. Are you kidding me? The ABC guy said, yeah. There's a good show today. What do you do tomorrow? Wow. What do you do the next day? Are you kidding me? You do more of the same, you know. That's what you do. This is the format. Well, he was poo-pooing, and we went very neglected. We were very upset. We said, well, that's it. Now we'll try to get the other NBC, and NBC showed it, and again, the fellow didn't want to do. He said, no, he was not interested in it. And I understood why, because he was leaving to work for a competitor of mine. So that didn't give us any hope, but he had an assistant who went back to New York and said, I love the show, please make a pilot of the show. So the guy who didn't want to deal with it said, all right, make the pilot. We made the pilot in April, and nothing happened until October. And they called us and said, well, we have a time period we've tried show after show after show, and none of them last more than 13 weeks. Do you want that time period? We'll put you on. And we said, we'll take it. And we went on January the 2nd, 1964, I think it was. We taped it in 63, and it was an instant hit. And the story goes on from there.
Isn't that amazing? Imagine what this ABC guy would say 50 years later.
You know, what did he say? What did he say when it went on there and became a hit? He didn't say a thing. No one likes to admit that they were wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But he didn't last at ABC very long either.
I wouldn't think so.
No, you see, the people at the networks, they have to have an imagination. You saw something, you made a pilot, or you looked at it, and your imagination will tell you, does this fit? Is this kind of thing has a future? But if you dismiss it by saying, yeah, it's good for one day, what do you do the second day? Well, that's not a critique.
Right.
That's short-sightedness.
When Let's Make a Deal began in January of '64, I guess, do you look back and see that now as kind of a golden age of daytime game shows?
No, I don't think so. I think it all goes in cycles. There were a lot of game shows back there, but a lot of them didn't last.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're down to just a handful of shows now.
Mm-hmm.
Because, first of all, there are cycles as you go through. And the game show cycle hasn't come back, really. There's only Let's Make a Deal and Price is Right and maybe two others. That's all there is.
Mm-hmm.
And so it may come back in another cycle. But there are other things that have tried. Soap operas are diminishing also.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get reality shows and talk shows, and judge shows after judge shows.
Right. But I wonder if you would agree with me. I watched the other day, I was home and watched Let's Make a Deal and The Price is Right. And to be honest, hadn't watched them for a while. And I just felt such a connection to them that there's almost like a comfort thing to those shows if you're of a certain age, that they just make you feel good.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I don't know, but all I know is we entertained.
Mm-hmm.
And Let's Make a Deal for me was a great show because there's no script, as you know.
Right.
We know where all the prizes are and what the deals are going to be. But then you have to wait to see what happens to the contestant. How do they react? What do they say? How do they choose? Where do you go from here? So you're making up the script as you go along. So it was a great challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I loved the reactions of the people. You know, they were very outgoing people, and there were people, shy people, all kinds. But what we did on the show, and I think this is the greatest legacy, is before Let's Make a Deal came on, all the game shows in those days had only one kind of a contestant, a young, pretty white person.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe occasionally they get an older white person.
Right.
But that was about it. We came on and we said, we're going to have a cross-section of America. And we're going to take them all, black and white and yellow and brown and old and young and fat and skinny, and we don't care, because that's America.
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, we were right. It appealed to everybody, because everybody likes to play a game, everybody likes to win, and there's no limit to the excitement quotient.
No, that's for sure. And are you surprised a bit by that, in that, you know, in 2013, television's been around for 60-odd years, that people still get that excited to be in that, said CBS Television City or wherever, in that studio, but it just seems today people are a little more blasé or cynical.
Until they get to the show.
Right.
And then they become like everybody else.
Wow.
I'll tell you an amusing story, because this is for Canada.
Mm.
There was one year we were not on the air here. We were on the show from Vancouver.
Wow.
We did the show in Vancouver for American audiences. And my brother who lives in Toronto said, "You're going to do your show in Vancouver, in that conservative city. They won't dress up in costumes. They won't get into that spirit at all." Well, we went up there, and of course they did, like everywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Because people it hits you at the moment. Now, I say to people, did you ever go to the horse races?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Did you bet on the horse? Were you excited when the horse race was on? Yes. Did you want to win? Yes. Did you ever play bingo? Yes. Did you want to win? Yes. Did you buy a raffle? Did you want? All of it is the part of participating and hoping for success.
That's true. Yeah.
And I don't care who you are. I was, and this is a story I don't even need to register with your readers, but do you remember the actress Rosalind Russell?
Yes, of course.
Okay, it concerns her. I was at a big dinner party one night, and she was sitting next to me at my table. And during the evening, the host brought out a big gondola festooned with prizes. And he said, "Tonight we're going to give away lucky prizes to these rich people sitting at a dinner." These are very wealthy people sitting at a dinner,
mm-hmm.
and they started calling out numbers, and a person would win a compact or something worth $50, and the screaming started with these rich people, right? Now, as this is going on, Rosalind Russell turns to me and says, "And they make fun of your contestants?"
It's a great line. That's very funny. When was the last time you got back to Winnipeg?
It's been 2 years.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty recent.
Yeah, well, I used to go back almost every year, or every other year. I was back there a year. Let me see, it'll be a year and a half now.
Wow.
I love to go back. The relatives are diminishing, but every time I go back, I take them all out. We all go out for dinner somewhere, and I take them all out, and we have a wonderful reunion.
There's a street named after you there, right? Monty Hall Way?
There's a street named there for me, and there's a street named for me in Palm Springs.
Oh, my goodness.
You know what it is? It's the same street. It's 2,000 miles long.
That's great.
Both called Monty Hall Drive.
That's fantastic. Do you have any idea how many shows you hosted? You personally hosted?
Yes, I did. I did the first. I did the first 4,700 shows.
Wow! Wow!
And since then, other people have done it. And Wayne Brady has just done his 700th show.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But I did it over 6 decades, which is something, isn't it?
That is amazing. Wow. And you always made it known that you were Canadian, and I think
Absolutely.
A lot of Canadians were quite proud of that.
You know, I never hesitated about that. I'm still, you know, even though I've been here since 1955, I guess.
Wow.
Actually, still that Canadian heart is beating inside me.
Very nice.
Let me put it this way. even though I became an American citizen, I have dual citizenship. When Canada played the United States in hockey in the Olympics, do you remember that great game?
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think I was cheering for?
Well, you were cheering for the winning team.
I was sitting in Palm Springs with my brother watching it on television, and he and I were screaming for Canada.
Oh, that's great. That's the Vancouver Olympics.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you mind if I ask how old you are now, sir?
I'm 91 now.
My goodness,
Yes, my goodness is right.
Congratulations! You sound so robust. That's tremendous. That's my hats off.
I've never slowed down. I'm still very active with my charities. I'm always doing emceeing a banquet or making a monologue. I have many charities that I'm still running, so I'm constantly on stage. So it keeps me sharp.
Is Variety Club still one of your?
Yes, I'm the international chairman.
Mm-hmm.
So it still keeps me busy.
Were you ever involved in any Canadian television?
When television started in Canada in 1952.
Mm-hmm.
I was there at the beginning.
Wow.
And I had a daytime show for 1 hour that I emceed with Rosemary Boxer, and it was an hour magazine show in the afternoon, where we had, as typical, we had all kinds of guests and all kinds of performances. Hmm. And I also started a show called The Floor Show, and that was a nighttime show in a nightclub.
Oh.
That was the beginning of 1952, and I had that through 53, and then something happened. I didn't have any shows.
Huh.
After having all these shows and so on, they went off the air. I was not hired back again to do any other show. So from 1954 to 55, I knocked on a lot of doors unsuccessfully.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided to go to New York.
Wow, interesting. And I'm always curious to know, because you hear from time to time about shows being erased and being lost. What is the situation with Let's Make a Deal in terms of archived shows from back in the 60s? Do they still exist?
We have a collection that we saved, not the entire 6,000-7,000 shows,
right?
But I think we do have maybe about 1,500 or 2,000 that we have. And at one point we played them on the game show channel here for a couple of years.
Right.
And the storage costs were enormous.
Right.
And then one day I said to my partner, we've got all these shows that we're storing, and we're paying all these for month after month after month. Why are we keeping them?
Right.
He said, you're right. We didn't realize that there would be something called syndication coming on later,
Yeah. Well, the first 10 years of The Tonight Show, the same thing. They needed the shelf space. So that's pretty typical. Yeah.
So I kept the show and I kept my wife.
Well, I think you made the right choice.
Well, thank you as always to Phil Hong for mastering these iffy old audio recordings, cleaning them up nicely for this podcast. Kudos to BJ Del Conte, Paul Boudra, Stephen Dudley, and all the crispy critters who recorded the music heard on these podcasts. They're recorded way back before these Vault interviews were recorded, to be honest. Finally, thanks to you, listener. If you like what you heard, please spread the word and let us know in the comments if there's somebody from the past you'd like to hear in the next From the Vault episode. I'm Bill Brio. Thanks for listening.